the title of this is The State of the Media Industry, Innovation, Investment, and Growth. I can't speak from the perspective of an investor yet, but hopefully at the end of this panel, I'll want to invest in media again. So let's start by just introducing yourselves really quickly, like this is just a quick, rapid round of who you are and what you do.
Okay, I'm Evan Ratliff. I'm the co-founder of Atavist, which is a software and media company. We make a storytelling platform for immersive, rich media, digital storytelling. And we also have a magazine called the Atavist Magazine.
And I'm Kevin Dando. I'm the Senior Director of Social Media Strategy and Digital Communications at PBS, the people who bring you Downton Abbey and Sherlock. And so I oversee social media for everything on air, all the shows, and everything that goes on broadcast.
And I know I'm only going to do this because you're videotaping this. So I'm the head of client development for Group M Search and Social, working with our top accounts across agencies with their search and social needs.
And I'm Eric Wheeler, CEO of 33 Across. We're a publisher monetization and traffic building technology.
Cool. Okay, so media used to signify storytelling. In your opinions, what is media now? Just feel free to freewheel here.
I think, well, we heard it in the last panel too. I think media is an amazing kind of change right now. You've got the monetization models changing. You got viewership behavior changing from mobile, broadband. You know, so much innovation is necessary, and I think there's so much turmoil. And we're seeing fast-moving companies like BuzzFeed really capture attention, particularly in social and mobile.
So is there any one defining thing about all media nowadays?
Media is everywhere. And I know some of the other topics we're going to talk about is like your refrigerator is media, your control system is media, your, for God bless those that get chipped, I mean, it's media. Everything is media. It's no longer you turn your TV on, you're going to watch a TV spot, or you're going to look at a magazine ad. It's like you're at the gas station, you're pumping gas, and there is media. It's everywhere. It's the watches that are pent up in China right now with the waiting list. It's everything, everywhere. Everything is media.
Okay, the answer I'm looking for is what Evan gave in our pre-call. So, Evan, can you say that answer, please?
I don't get the prize.
For God's sakes, I sent the notes around and everything.
I read it.
Right here.
Evan, please repeat
Wait,
that.
what did I say previously?
I said,
Oh, yeah, I did say that.
yeah, that was smart. Yeah. Want to share it?
I mean, I guess there is no definition of media. Media is a muddle, but the reality now is that whereas there were these limited number of forms that you could use, that actually institutions could use to communicate with a lot of people, now there's basically I think we probably close to every type of media that you can think of that you can use to access people. I mean, I think now like live video is the latest thing, but whether it's short or long or video or audio or something interactive, like every possible way exists. So it feels like media is everywhere, and it's also not just everywhere, it's also like everyone being able to do it. And now the question is sort of like, who can do it well in a way that other people actually want to listen to.
Maybe it wasn't you who said it, but here's what the smart person said. The common thread is still content. Okay, so that's what we're going to define as media here today. It's still content, right? So everyone knows mobile is the next. I hope you're not offended.
That I didn't say the smart thing?
No. I think you said it.
Doesn't matter.
I hope you don't think I'm offending you.
I'd be pissed.
So everyone knows that
I knew that coming in.
mobile is the next big thing in media and advertising. What frontier comes after mobile? What's on the horizon, guys? I have an idea, but I want to know if you guys can see into the future yourselves. So what do you think is on the horizon after mobile, which is just going like that?
Well, it kind of goes back to what you were saying about the Internet of Things. I was at the Facebook's F8 meeting a couple of weeks ago, and they're talking about how they're going to be ubiquitous on the
Ubiquitous?
Yeah, they're going to be everywhere. Facebook. So I mean, I think that might be the next frontier is light bulbs. The smart homes.
Actually, I know of a light bulb that has a camera in it. So.
Yeah, I know parents who who use smart home light bulbs to control their kids. You can't get up until the light bulb turns red, cool. And things like that. It's just, I think that might be the next platform that we're looking at.
Okay. Anybody else want to venture a guess?
I'm going to go way out there.
Okay.
And it's robots. I mean, if you look, and this, I know Business Insider is saying this kind of same thing, but the robotic element of and God bless anybody here who has a droid that flies around in their office, chopping your head up. But like smart technology that is your phone. Your phone's great because you can do a lot of things with it. But what if it can do stuff for you? So like again, the refrigerator concept. You've got a magnet, and this true story. Forrester Sharp Van Boskirk pizza magnet that knows what you ordered last time. You just press it, it automatically dials the pizza people. They know what you want because you've pre-done it. It's kind of like Fresh Direct, only for pizza. You push the button on the refrigerator, and it delivers it. It already has your credit card information.
Okay, so I
It's
agree
kind
that
of like the that was easy button, but it's like Caesar's, like pizza, boom,
Yeah,
push the button.
it's for about everything that you can imagine.
Pizza.
That
I mean, I do agree that those things are coming. I can't wait. But how are they media? So when we're talking about media, which is content, as we've defined already, how is media going to play through the robot, through the pizza magnet?
Well, I think video. What we're seeing now with net neutrality and what's going to happen when you look at the U.S. and our broadband consumption. How much broadband speeds we have and how far below we are in broadband speeds compared to we're like number 40 or 50 fastest connected country in the world. As we start to open that up and as that moves and becomes, we're going to see an incredible amount of content. Live video of it. I think there's going to be incredible innovation.
How come you guys aren't mentioning VR, AR, augmented reality, virtual reality? Go, Evan.
Print.
I actually agree with him. I think print is coming back. So
Not
discuss.
as the next technology, but I guess I do think from a media content being distributed perspective, the trajectory of the web has been to do more and more and more and more all the time. And I think that there is a limit to how much garbage content people can ingest. I think there is. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe we haven't hit it so far, but the philosophy that everyone's going to keep shoveling as fast as possible to infinitum, I think will at some point, at the very least, create an undercurrent where there's a very big opportunity. I think it already has for people who are actually trying to do things that matter to the people who are consuming them. And that, in some cases, that actually is print.
Yeah, no, I agree. I see there are examples of sites that started on the web and now they're in print, like Afar, and I'm sure is Atavist planning a print version?
Yeah, we're doing a print collection next year.
So you heard it here first, guys.
I mean, I just want to add, just to really ground it, because I think it was kind of like, whoa, robots.
Yeah.
So working with GE, because I work with Andy, I mean, they're the Internet of Things. And the reality is your refrigerator is going to tell you you're almost out of milk, and an ad is going to come up with that grocery list, and it's going to be, do you want the organic XYZ brand, or do you want the organic XYZ brand? And that's how
How it's media?
The
Okay.
media is, I mean, it's
All right.
messaging.
Okay,
It
cool.
doesn't have to be a story or content.
All right, it doesn't have to be content anymore. Lou Ray has decided it is now advertising. That is media. Okay, moving right along. Traditional media outlets, that's the content ones, have lost the battle of bringing people directly to them and are relying on social. We read about this, over the course of this week, if you hadn't known it before. Is this a dangerous trend that must be stopped or the way of the world and must be adapted to? So that's the battle of bringing people directly to your site. So the New York Times, you no longer consume the New York Times on the NewYorkTimes.com. You consume it through Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Does that matter? Do we care?
Well, speaking for PBS, we don't see it as an either or. It's not bad that people are getting our content not on pbs.org or not on the broadcast. We have tens of millions of followers on our various different social platforms. And it's important for us, of course, everything needs to be branded when we put it out, but it's important to us that people who aren't watching TV, for instance, are looking at our content on YouTube. We have hundreds of YouTube channels that we're looking at. And if we can get someone to look at our native video on Facebook as well, which is something that we're doing more and more of as well, people at PBS are happy about that. They don't see it as a net negative.
But do you guys make any money?
We do. I mean, the YouTube channels are monetized, but the money that we get is not through that.
Oh, okay, so you can't talk. Okay, somebody else who has something to lose, talk.
Well, I can tell you, I mean, our publisher technology is embedded on over 1 million sites, and the traffic that they get from social is enormous and is growing. They're on average, 50%. Some sites have 60, 70% or more of their traffic coming from social sources every day. And the most difficult part of it is it's one page view per user, right? You get a link, somebody passes it to you, you click on a link on Facebook, whatever, you go in, you're out, you're in, you're out. So you've got completely different kind of viewer experience versus someone coming to kind of read the New York Times and kind of relax and have a cup of coffee and on the patio. Now they're in mobile transit. They're clicking. They're in and out, and that is an entirely new paradigm. That is, I think it speaks to the need for new business models and new ad functionality.
And that would be you, right?
Well, I did kind of pitch it a little bit that way.
Okay, so how are you helping the publishers monetize that, quick hit traffic?
Well, we have tools that actually help them. The new tools that are launching for us are going to be about one of the features is it's a bounce control feature. So actually, when we see people coming from search and from social, that we'll recommend either recommend content or we'll insert more advertising or suggest something so you can either have better monetization and or get that from one page view to 3 page views.
You call it bounce control?
Yeah.
That's a cute name. Okay. Evan, did
Thank
you have
you.
anything to add? I saw you rustling over here.
No, I mean, I agree with all that. I mean, definitely every person I talk to in any web content organization, media organization is concerned about Facebook, obsessed with Facebook,
We're gonna get
trying to figure out what Facebook is going to
next.
do.
That's going to be next.
Clearly, a lot of their traffic is coming from there. I wouldn't say they've lost. I mean, I think a lot of people still do go directly to those organizations. Their question is just how much should we give away? How much should we care if people come directly to us or
What
end
about
up reading
you?
our stuff somewhere
How much
else?
do you care if they come directly?
We care a good bit. I mean, we care a lot about design, both in people creating things on our platform, how they're designed, and our own storytelling, how we design it, and we think that's important to the readers as well. So we're happy to exist anywhere as long as we can design something that looks beautiful digitally. So to the extent that those platforms get better and better at accepting quality design, I'm not opposed to it.
Let's talk a little bit about Facebook, because that seems to be the behemoth in the room. What's the dumbest thing Facebook could do right now?
Try to become Google.
By Yahoo.
This is a serious question here. Seriously, what could they do that would destroy publishers right now that they aren't already doing?
Oh, that would destroy publishers?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the worst, dumbest thing they could do for themselves, which would be to
Well,
start trying to produce news themselves.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. I mean, they're already kind of offering, and many publishers are doing. They're saying, hey, just put your content here instead of us having to control this browser, and we'll link to you because it is just one person anyways. Why don't we just put all your website on our servers, and we'll just put all your content here, and then if we don't like you, we'll shut off access to it or whatever. So it's really, really, really scary. And so this is the negotiation that we've been through with Google for years with publishers, particularly from DFP and from an ad, the ad monetization standpoint. Now they're getting it from Facebook, and it's just really, really, really scary. It was tough to negotiate with Google, and now you got to do it with Facebook.
Would it be smart for Facebook or Yahoo or one of those to just buy up a bunch of media properties? Is time for sale? Wall Street Journal sold.
I
Washington
think,
Post sold. Why not?
Sure, I mean-
Anything will sell for enough money.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see it. We're going to see it. It's interesting. I mean, you got Bezos buying Washington Post. I mean, we're going to see more and more of this happen. Because of how they're valued, the public and or private companies, they're not valued extremely high. Yet their audiences and the content there is valuable from a monetization standpoint. Mm-hmm. Brands still want to have content adjacency. They want to be around and near content.
They want
whatever format it is.
authenticity, is what you're saying.
True.
They want something with a brand, content that's branded Forbes, Fortune, Inc., Time, Atavist. So why wouldn't a really smart Google, Facebook, Yahoo buy up a bunch of media brands under one umbrella? Why wouldn't they do that?
Far be it to me to tell people at Google or Facebook what they should do business-wise, because they obviously are succeeding very well. I think the question would be, could they buy those things and leave them alone and let them do the thing that they do? I mean, the problem is that I mean, you saw this even, like Tumblr was a great example. There was a point at which Tumblr was like, we're going to start our own content division. We're going to make our own content. And it lasted like, they hired great reporters in places, but that's not what they do. They don't know how to do it. Facebook doesn't know how to run a news organization. And so Facebook could very easily destroy a news organization by buying it and then trying to meddle with it. Like, in some ways, they're better off just letting them do that and then trying to lure them on the platform and get them at, terrible terms.
I mean, it sounds like the argument is bloodlet them to death or just kill them all at once.
I don't know that we've seen the bottom yet. And I think part of what we have to, a lot of some publishers are challenged with, they got a lot of printing equipment. They got a lot of hard assets that cost a lot of money. That make what? Bureaus and a lot of things that aren't as relevant anymore. So that's not what a larger company is going to want to buy. They're going to want to buy the relationships. They're going to want to buy the brand. They're going to want to buy the content. And they're going to want to know that either by itself or very easily with, that combination is going to add to bottom line, revenue for them and profit for them. Because if it doesn't, they're just not going to do it.
Okay. Let's get really practical for a second. Let's talk about some tools, must-have tools that you use today that you wish you had founded, invested in, and what they do to help your business.
Slack.
Tell people what Slack is for those who don't know.
Slack is basically an internal office chat tool that essentially, once you get addicted to it, it replaces your email and all other forms of communication in your office.
So it's really addictive?
So yeah, I mean, it was incredible how quickly we started paying the premium amount after we got on Slack. So wow. I would say Slack and Mixpanel, which is an analytics company, which we also are pretty into. It gives you, as a software company who's has an online software outfit, it gives you incredible information about what people are doing inside your software, how they're using it.
What about Chartbeat? Do you use that?
Chartbeat's great. We don't use it, but
CrowdTangle, NewsWhip.
Yeah.
Okay.
So CrowdTangle is something that we love.
Talking to the mic.
Sorry, CrowdTangle is something that we love. And we don't use Chartbeat, we use Google Analytics real time. But Chartbeat, I know NewsHour and Frontline both use Chartbeat and love it. I also love Nielsen Social, which allows me when there's, for instance, when Downton Abbey's on, I can go in and look and see everyone who's tweeting in 5-second increments, who the most influential tweeters are, what products they like. The breakdown is incredible. So Nielsen bought a company called Social Guide. And so when we're live tweeting Downton Abbey, I can go in and see every single thing that's happening. When there's a big event happening on screen, I know it's going to resonate instantly on that. So that's something I really like.
Does anybody use Clout for anything? No. Okay. Lou Ray, talk to us about stuff you've seen that's been successful for your client, if you can.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, and I'm thinking even tools we use.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to hear tools you use. Yeah.
So I would say Ad Guru would be one.
What does that do?
It allows us to go in and look at keyword sets and determine how our advertiser is going to stack up with everyone else that's buying those same terms. It'll tell us organically as well as paid. It also does some reputation management kinds of stuff. So I had a pharma client that had a great product that they were getting sued and lawsuits to the max, and we found they were getting sneaky and they were putting spaces in between the letters because we could catch them and say, Google, they're abusing the word, and then they started using / / to make a V, so we caught all of that.
Well, that wouldn't be Viagra, will it? Viagra.
So that's what Tableau is another one that I think is wow.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
Completely transformed reporting, and then those are probably, those are a couple that are just come to mind.
Cool.
On a personal level, I think as an executive, I think Evernote's been super helpful. Just transformed the way in which I use both my phone and my computer when I want to track and kind of keep ideas going. It's just been an incredibly useful tool. And the only other thing that I think is interesting, which is is companies like Airbnb have just transformed business travel for us as well. It's just been pretty amazing.
You're forcing people to sleep in Airbnb?
I don't force anyone to sleep anywhere. It's kind of a rule in New York, but no, we don't force. But I've just found that you can get better quality and have better experience, and people enjoy it more.
Okay, so 5 years from now, Vox, Vice, BuzzFeed, Business Insider, Mashable, Medium, Bleacher Report, Huffington Post, Upworthy. Which one deserves to be the next big media company? Which one gets bought for $1 billion or goes public?
I say Huffington Post. Oriana is brilliant.
You guys all agree?
I mean, I guess Huffington Post to me is already sort of AOL-ish. I guess I don't know if it's working, but I don't have a good way of calling the winners. To me, that list, the interesting thing about that list is how big those companies want to be and how much venture money is going into a lot of those companies, which to me feels like they really are racing to be like the next Time Inc. of the next X number of years, which wasn't sort of true in the first .com era, where you had a lot of smaller new media things that even like Wired that never sort of aspired to the size of something like BuzzFeed is just trying to kind of take over the world. So I don't know who's going to win, but I think some of them are going to kind of like get so big and require so much of a churn that they're just going to kind of fizzle out. But
So that's an interesting thing to bring up, all the money that's chasing media properties and whether or not it makes sense for all that money to be in media properties. We look at what happened to GigaOM. We don't really know what happened to GigaOM, but it did raise money and then it did subsequently disappear. So anybody else have any thoughts about all the money chasing these media properties and whether or not it's a smart thing?
I think it's as I kind of alluded to earlier. I think some of them need to kind of bounce back up and reinvent and kind of shed some of the assets that aren't.
No, these are the new ones.
I think the new one. I think the stuff that's so interesting related to like BuzzFeed, where I think they've done something that's so brilliant in that instead of just producing news, they've really thought about the time when people are using like their mobile, their social. They've designed for that experience. They designed for the fact that I'm standing in line or that I'm on a train or that they've made it super easy to entertain their audience. And now they're branching into other things and kind of moving that way. But they've really nailed social entertainment in a way that many other companies are now trying to follow. And that's pretty powerful.
And they're doing long reads. And they're doing long reads incredibly well, too. I mean, the stuff that they're doing, that they're churning out, the long-form journalism, it's easy to pigeonhole BuzzFeed as listicles, but the best article I've ever read about Cory Booker, for instance, was in BuzzFeed. And so I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see what they do the next few years.
We're going to open it up to questions from the audience. So any questions?
Hi, I'm James. So thank you all for being here. Speaking of the future of marketing or content, what do you guys think about beacon technology? Is it gonna
About what kind of?
beacon?
Beacon technology.
Yeah.
What do you think about beacon technology? Anybody?
Are you talking about?
Say what it is.
Beacon, like in-store where you can track.
Right. PBS has actually looked at using beacon technology with ads. We haven't done it yet, but we were going to be doing it in connection with the Ken Burns documentary, The Roosevelts, so that anyone who walked by any Roosevelt-related place in New York would instantly be served an ad on their iDevice. It didn't work out, but it's something that we're really, really interested in.
You sir.
Hi, Mark Riley from Dow Jones. This is a completely hypothetical question. If I was to give any of you $1 million to do your own startup, something completely new, what would you do?
If you got $1 million to do your own startup, what would you do, Evan?
I mean, I would do the startup that I'm doing now. I guess.
Did you get $1 million?
We'll go into the next investment round.
A new one.
I got to do an entirely new one? I would not do another startup.
That was a great answer. Okay.
I would ask Laurel.
No, don't ask me. I wouldn't do a media startup, that's for sure. It's too hard.
I do something related to media, but I'm actually a mindful leadership empowerment coach, and a plug here, mindfulbusiness.guru. I would actually put something together to serve the advertising community to bring mindful advertising into the world. because as a personal passion, I feel like,
As opposed to mindless advertising?
yeah, I've been doing this 30 years, and just the reality of what I see, at WPP. I mean, the greed that is just a reality. Companies without a soul, helping them get a soul and be a money-making machine at the same time. And you look at the attrition rates, and I won't share what they are at the agency I'm with, but let's say we spend millions of dollars recruiting the people for the revolving door, and you don't have to do that. I know from experience, having done it other places.
I'm not going to tell you.
Why?
But I'll tell you some ideas I'm playing around with. One, shoelaces. How hard is it to find shoelaces when you need them? And when you get them, they're crappy. What about cool shoelaces? Everybody needs them. Everybody's got feet. You can buy them one or two. Most people buy a pair.
Aren't you sorry you asked that question?
I would do shoelaces.
Mr. Dow Jones.
I
Okay.
think,
Anybody
pets,
else?
The pet market is underserved.
All right.
I can go on
Eric,
forever.
Eric, it's fine.
All right.
Anybody else with a question? A female, preferably female questions. Any women out there with questions? Come on, don't be afraid. Go.
Could you guys talk a little bit about viewability? Is that really going to be the next click-through rate? Is it going to change the game?
Viewability. Do you work for a viewability company?
No, I actually have someone from MediaCom.
Okay. She wants to know if viewability is a game changer. Go, Eric.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a game changer. I mean, I've been doing media for a long time. I ran Ogilvy Interactive and was COO of Kara before this. And the reality is we all thought we've been buying viewable media. We all thought we were buying fraud-free media. We didn't really know, and nobody really disclosed that half or whatever of the ads are just not even shown, right? Like you don't even see them. So, we have we have ad units, and part of what we do for our publishers is create 100% in-view ads. So this is an amazing layup. So thank you for that. But I think it's
You
massive.
paid her.
I didn't. It was amazing, but I will pay you afterwards. But I think that viewability
Shoelaces.
is a huge issue. In shoelaces, it is a huge issue right now, and it's not going to go away because the data and the technology is now there in the hands of the buyers, and nobody would buy something that's out of view. Why would you do it?
No, that's stupid. Okay, moving right along. Anybody else? We have 58 seconds.
Going once.
I can't believe this. Nobody cares. Come on. All right, go.
Where do you feel like the place is going to be for deeper content? More in-depth reporting. Is there still a place for that?
That's for you, Evan.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I've bet my whole last 5 years on that there is a place for that. I mean, obviously, we think it should exist to some extent on our platform, and we produce it through our magazine. But I think one of the interesting things you find on the web is that a thing that matters much more now than it did 5 or 10 years ago is how much time people are spending with your stuff. So the idea of getting someone to click for 1 second and then click away is still valuable. Still people chase it, but I think increasingly the idea of getting people to actually engage with what you're producing is important.
Nice.
Ta-da!
Thank you so much, all of you, and thank you all for staying. By far, everybody that left missed the most entertaining panel of the day.